South Jersey's home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Well, something to think about, for sure.
WENJ HD Millville, Atlantic City. A town square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is 97.3 ESPN.
Welcome to
Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the Sunday edition of the Locker Room with Billy Schweim. A little cloudy, a little windy, a little respite from the sun, but you know it'll be out this afternoon. And Josh Hennig is in the studio with me today. A rare Sunday, very rare Sunday start time for you, Josh.
This is like a solar eclipse, me coming in on a Sunday.
So I put my those special glasses on.
You know, listen, the whole world is on vacation but me and you, apparently. So
Vacation, what's that?
yeah, I don't know.
Well, good, Josh. This is the first time you and I have had the chance to work together
On a Sunday. In about 3 years.
But even we've always either had somebody in with us, Scotty McKay or someone else, Bobby, but very rarely you and I working together.
Yeah.
So on the way in, I was saying, let's do something different. My show is predicated on Phillies, Flyers, Eagles, Sixers, local stories that are popular, local stories that are fun to talk about, local people doing well, making the pros, we get a hold of them, right? So I'm coming in today, I'm thinking, let's ask Josh. I'm going to do a segment. I have questions, things that I have opinions on, but just want to ask Josh because I don't get to listen to you all the time, Monday through Friday on game night. Having a 6-year-old, that might preclude me from being able to listen to you. But
it's in the way a little bit.
It gets in the way. But we're going to do an Ask Josh segment today. How about that?
All right, that's fine.
Right? Could be almost anything.
I'm game.
And we have.
And by the way, people can text in at 609-403-0973 and rip me during the Ask Josh segment if they don't like my answer. How about that?
That's even better.
Just saying, equal opportunity over here.
Now, I do have a problem with something you said on the radio yesterday.
Not surprising.
On the way out.
All right.
And I like to chime in, but I know you don't like that. So I just figured I'd save it for today.
Well, it's your show. You can talk about whatever you want. How about that?
And we're going to address it. We got a great show lined up today. Josh Hennig in the studio, producing and co-hosting. We have our new fella Colton's in here today. He's going to be working with us going forward, and we're happy to get him in. And we're going to talk with the Flyers made. Look, I call him Trader Chuck.
You do.
I leave yesterday, and we're not even out the door. I tune you in, and boom, you're the first one to have it, Josh. So I commend you.
Hey, man, listen, I use Trader.
I checked Twitter, and it wasn't even on Twitter.
Well, what happened so it's really funny. It's funny how the sports news cycle works. For those who don't know, one person starts reporting something's happening, and then you start scurrying. You're like, everyone's scurrying.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
And I got to give credit to our Flyers insider, Kevin Durso. I mean, he's blowing me up on my phone.
Okay.
Like, hey, I got a tip. Hey, I got this. This is coming. Da-da-da-da-da. So I'm following him. I'm following everything. And the first thing that came out yesterday is before the Flyers make the pick, they're in trade talks. And I'm like, okay. Because remember, just 2 days before, our Flyers was like, we're done with trades.
Right.
He said it himself.
2 days before that, he said he wasn't going to move the 13th pick.
Right, exactly. So then the rumor out there is Voracek's getting traded. Well, I'm getting excited.
You think you are. You know how I feel.
So I'm getting excited. Voracek's getting traded. All right, here we go. And then I see it's Columbus, and I'm like, isn't that the team that drafted him? All right, fine. Because Columbus just drafted him 7th overall like 10 years ago. And then the trade gets done, and it's Cam Atkinson. And I'm like, and we're saving $2.5 million.
But the guy's a goal scorer.
Which Voracek is not.
And Voracek is an assist guy.
So you're getting a guy who scores goals, and you're saving $2.5 million over the next 3 years.
And you made a good point. I don't know if you got it from Durso or from your own observations. And you're getting a guy with a big heart.
Big heart, wearing gritty shirt during his...
Yeah.
The dude literally just got traded.
And you're wearing gritty.
And he's wearing gritty.
I love it.
I
So
mean,
I'm giving you credit. I was scary. So Scooter and I are on the way home yesterday. We just get in the car. You break the news. I go right to Twitter. I go right to Instagram or Facebook, and there's nothing. I don't know if you saw my post instantly right on Instagram, by the way, or on Twitter. You can follow me at LockerRoom973. Now I'm not a big tweeter or Twitter. What was the proper
tweeter?
I'm not a big tweeter, but when I tweet. All right. You know what I tweeted? Voracek being traded? ? Nobody responded. Like, you think bingo, people would have hit it. Like, yeah, but it took about 10 minutes.
Right.
So that's you really broke that story first. I think you had it before anybody else.
Well, at least I had him before a lot of people did.
Yes.
Because I was paying attention. But the other thing with that deal is, remember this. I love this factoid that was brought up. We can talk with Charlie O'Connor about this coming up at 11 o'clock, Bill, here on the Locker Room on 97.3 ESPN.
Beat me to the punch, but that's all right.
Here's the deal. The Flyers.
He knows me, Colton.
The Flyers now have 3 alternate captains they've traded for. 3.
Absolutely.
So you have Ellis, Atkinson, and Ristolainen. They're all former alternate captains. So you're not just changing the roster.
You're getting leaders.
You're getting a change in the locker room. And I think that's huge because there are so many times I would be screaming on the radio this year. And I would have people texting me, like, man, you need to calm down. I'm like, I'm not calming down. There were times you watched this Flyers team, Bill, and it was like, does anybody care? Does anybody have an ounce of concern and energy? Like Carter Hart, he's trying.
When he broke the stick over the back of the
Right.
crossbar.
Like, at least he's showing something. You know what I mean? Provorov, he's getting mad. Konechny's getting ticked off. But half the rest of the team, they're just like, oh, well, man, I'm collecting a paycheck.
So at the 11 o'clock hour, we will talk with Charlie O'Connor from The Athletic, who covers the Flyers. And Charlie has a really good grasp on things. He's my Flyers guy. We'll talk with Charlie. But speaking of getting upset, is there anybody on the Phillies that's going to do that? Because last night was a disgrace.
Embarrassment.
Give me another adjective. Keep firing him because I was infuriated by what I saw last night. And you know what? It's not Joe Girardi's fault.
No,
This
it's
is not Joe Girardi's fault.
This is a player problem.
Who's going to step up and grab somebody, throw him against the wall?
Somebody has to. Because
Where's Macho Rowe when we need it?
Macho Rowe, I just need somebody to show up at all. I don't even care if it's Macho Rowe. Give me Greg Jeffries, for goodness sake. I mean, I need something.
Now, I know Smiley's a good pitcher, but did you see some of the swings that these guys were taking in some of his pitches?
Poor.
I mean, I don't know. Some of the decisions, base running mistakes, fundamentally not sound baseball. Stuff they should be doing. They're professional baseball players, Josh. Give me something more.
And you know what, Bill? I don't understand. And this is what frustrates me. Chuck Fletcher, your boy, Trader Chuck, has made 4 trades in 7 days. The Phillies and Sixers haven't made 4 trades combined in the last 7 months. What is Dombrowski waiting for?
Well, the jury's still out on Dombrowski. The Sixers seem to be, look, I like Daryl Morey. I think he's going to do what he can. His wheels are turning. That's what he's known for. I mean,
right.
Look who he brought in. I commend him for bringing in Curry, bringing in Dwight Howard, and bringing in
Danny Green.
So he there you go, Josh. He has done something. All right. Now it remains to be seen what he's going to do next. I don't think he's just going to give away Ben Simmons just for the sake of giving him away.
No, he's not. And I'm less concerned about the Sixers. Morey is the guy who makes trades. I'm just concerned that Dombrowski is he trying to wait out the market? Is he trying to be a little maybe too calculated?
No, I don't think so, because I think Ben Simmons he's an anomaly. He's
No, I mean Dombrowski waiting too.
Oh, you said Dombrowski. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm less worried about Morey because I know Morey's a trader.
It's good. Look, it's going to happen for Dombrowski in the next July 30th. It's the trade deadline. So he said in the Inquirer today, he said we're going to be buyers. He's still convinced this team is 48-49. They play lackluster baseball. They have offensive a unit that is scoring in the month of July 5.63 runs a game, and they're not winning. And Joe Girardi said in his press conference last night after the game, pitching.
It sounds like me. I mean, I've been saying for weeks now, like, this team needs pitching. Like, I don't understand why anybody would think anything otherwise. And unless Dombrowski is just playing coy, which he might be, I don't know. At some point, he's got to get on the phone. He's got to start making phone calls because this team could be in first place in National League East. They could be.
This division is there for the taking, Josh.
The Mets are banged up. The Braves are without their best player, Acuna.
The Mets are they're like behind the only Pittsburgh and one other team for the least amount of runs in the league, in the National League.
But yet we're sitting here twiddling our thumbs hoping that Vince Velasquez shows up.
By the way, we're streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can check us out there. If you ever miss any of our guests or any of my shows, you can go to my podcast. We're on 8 podcast locations. It's The Locker Room with Billy Schweim. Of course, we post interviews on the YouTube channel, and all of my stuff is on the website, The Locker Room with Billy Schweim. I know a lot of people text me and showed interest in the Ross Colton interview yesterday, and we thought that was really good. Ross, I thought he was really really fun to talk to yesterday.
Yeah, the other thing with Ross is that he just came off as a fundamentally good dude.
Yeah,
a guy who was happy to be here, humble, appreciates the opportunity, the moment, all that stuff.
So if you missed the Joe Namath interview, Rich Gannon,
Mark Messier,
Mike Emmerich, Dick Stockton. We've had some big guests on this show. And if you missed any of that stuff, you can go to my website, The Locker Room with Billy Schweim. Any one of my podcasts, there's 8 locations, 8 podcast locations, The Locker Room with Billy Schweim. It's all there. Check it out on the YouTube channel, The Locker Room with Billy Schweim. I want to remind people the first hour of The Locker Room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers, sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing of the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. I was on the beach yesterday, ran into Johnny I and Frank DiGiacomo, good friends of Ron's, and they're in Ocean City hanging out. Good to see those boys. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan and the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the main line, also gives certified pre-owned sales, has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience is not at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the main line, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides new Maserati loaner cars. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the main line, at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we're going to ask Josh, taking this medication, it's making my mouth dry.
Drink some water, bro.
I am. When we return, you're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN. Ocean City's real estate market is red hot, and you need an agent that has the knowledge and expertise to help. Contact Ocean City's top agent, Mark Rhymes. Mark has been selling real estate for 30 years in South Jersey. He can answer all your real estate questions and find you the perfect property. He's available anytime on his cell at 609-425-2042. When Philadelphia star athletes are looking for a house at the beach, they contact Mark Rhymes, specializing in buying and selling vacation homes, single-family homes, condominiums, and duplexes, residential and commercial, as well as new construction projects or investment opportunities. Mark Rhymes, he's your agent at the beach. Give him a call right now, 609-425-2042, or check out his website at grimes.com.
Rendezvous Pizza, Rendezvous Pizza, Rendezvous Pizza, the pizza you're gonna love. It's got the freshest taste that you'll find any place. Rendezvous Pizza, there's one right nearby. Rendezvous Pizza, Rendezvous Pizza. It's a pizza like you've never had before. Eat it or take it home, no matter where you roam. Rendezvous Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Rendezvous Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Why would you call anyone else besides Randazzo's Pizzeria and Family Restaurant, 34th and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Open year-round, 7 days a week, offering free delivery on the whole island and to the beach. Pizza, pasta, salads, entrees, subs, paninis, and wraps. Voted best of the shore. Call 814-1600. 814-1600.
Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Service in Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson and Sons for electrical, they're number one.
Your experience matters. At University of Phoenix, relevant life experience and eligible transfer credits can help you earn your degree faster and for less. In fact, undergrads who apply these credits, on average, save about 1 year and $11,000. Get the credit you deserve for time spent in the classroom, on the job, and in life. And see how much you can save at phoenix.edu. That's phoenix.edu.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up, there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Hey, Jackie, did the Gomez files come in?
For Lucy's law firm, finding the perfect Spanish-speaking paralegal feels like an unwinnable case.
The case documents are in Spanish. My Espanol is too rusty for this.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, sports bettors, it's Mike Gill, and I wanted to share with you how I've been cashing in on the PropSwap sports bets resale app. On average, sellers on PropSwap have been making $500 a month. It's easy. Just post all your betting tickets for sale on PropSwap and let them find you a buyer. Listing your ticket is always free, and if it sells, great. But if not, the bet is still yours to keep. If you're not selling sports bets on PropSwap, you're missing out on incredible side hustle. Start making extra money today by downloading the PropSwap app and selling your sports bets.
All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig producing and co-hosting today. And on my way into the studio, I said, since it's very rare that you and I get to work alone, like by ourselves, try to get my glasses back on. I thought, let's do something different. Let's ask Josh. 609-403-0973 is the text board if you want to chime in and rip them for anything that if we get in a disagreement, maybe people could add their 2 cents. 609-403-0973.
And for those who are wondering, yes, the USA lost to France 83-76.
Can you believe that?
And no, That's not the worst part. The worst part is I'm in the studio flipping the channels. NBC, NBC Sportsnet, USA, CNBC, MSNBC. Every single sport on planet Earth is on TV but the basketball game. NBC, this is why you're losing your sports network. You are a bunch of imbeciles. You have to overpay people to come work for you because they don't work at ESPN anymore because there's not one, not two, but three of them now, and you can't even have the basketball game on TV.
That's a travesty. It's a
NBC
travesty
is
because
stupid.
you're watching beach volleyball, 2-on-2.
Beach volleyball, water polo, doubles tennis.
Who cares?
Who cares when men's basketball is on and they're losing?
All right, let's get into the Ask Josh segment.
Yeah.
We'll do a 15 maybe. If it goes well, we'll see what happens. We'll see about the response. Josh,
yeah.
Let's start off with our quarterback in Green Bay. Why would he not want to return to the Green Bay Packers? Why is he so upset?
Well, it's a couple of reasons. One, because the organization has mishandled every quarterback they've had for the last 20 years. Oh, you mean his
feelings are hurt?
No, it's not about his feelings. It's about the fact that
they drafted another quarterback?
It's actually less about the quarterback than it is about the fact that the organization has drafted one offensive player in the first round in the last 20 years. It was Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. That's it. They've never drafted a wide receiver. They've never drafted a running back. They've never drafted an offensive lineman. They've never drafted a tight end. So Rodgers is like, let me get this straight. You want to draft the quarterback of the future, but you still refuse to draft any player on the offensive side of the ball.
But if my memory serves me correctly, I've never had in the last 20 years, Green Bay's always had good receivers. I mean, they've always had
good quarterbacks.
He's made them better.
And as soon as Rodgers goes down with injuries in the last 10 years, the team goes
all right.
Down
but
the pits.
Is that a reason for him to he elevates everybody's game?
Right.
All right. You know, what is he watching the NBA and seeing how these players want to have these? I understand you want better, good players around you, but is that enough to want out when they're still winning? You know, his numbers are MVP numbers. I mean, to me, that suggests that he's just like a prima donna. You play with what you got. You develop relationships. He makes everybody better.
No, I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that I understand where Rodgers is coming from. He feels like the organization doesn't actually care.
All right, so let me ask you this, Josh. If you're Aaron Rodgers, are you asking for out too?
I mean, probably, I don't know. I feel like there's more to this story that's not being told.
There's gotta be.
Because when Aaron Rodgers had that interview with Kenny Mayne about a month and a half ago on SportsCenter on ESPN, he said that he loves his teammates. He loves the coaches.
He loves Green Bay.
He loves the fans. He actually said, I actually like Jordan Love. He says, I like the kid. He's like, he's a good guy. I like working with him. He says, but my problems are not with any of those people. So whatever's going on in that front office with Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst, who are the two men in charge of the Packers, remember, in an organization with no real ownership, okay? The Packers are the only team in all of sports that are owned by people. It's a group of shareholders. There's thousands of people who own the Packers. So there's no principal owner to step in and say, what's going on, boys? There's nobody to step in and say, this person should be fired or hired.
Packers are a storied organization, right?
It doesn't change the fact that there's no one in charge.
But they've been, my point is, I could see if Aaron Rodgers, the team was struggling and he's not in the running for MVP. You know, if the team was flat out bad, but they're not.
Right.
They're in contention every year.
They are. But the problem is that as far as Rodgers is concerned, not me, Rodgers, is that
maybe
he feels like the front office doesn't actually want to put together the best team possible.
Aaron Rodgers, what? He's 41? How old?
I'm going to say he's 39.
39, 41, something like that. We have three quarterbacks that are in their 40s.
Rodgers is 37. He turns 38 by the end of the year.
It's still up there. I mean, Brady's 43.
Brady's turning 44. Yeah.
And who else? Who else do we have that's up there?
Big Ben. Ben's like what? 38. I think.
39.
Pulling up Roethlisberger here. 39. Yes, he just turned 39 2 months ago.
Okay. So I just wonder if he's just doing it at the end of his career because he can. He's holding them hostage because they lose Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay's going to go off the charts.
Oh, without Rodgers, they're nothing.
They're nothing.
But I think that's part of the problem. I don't think the organization accepts that. I think the organization's in denial. I don't think this organization realizes that if Rodgers doesn't play this year, you're wasting a year of your roster.
So, but on the surface, it looks to me, because this show is predicated on the Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, Eagles, local sports, like I said earlier. I watch, obviously, what's going on around the league, but to me, just on the surface, it looks like he's upset because they didn't they didn't do what he wanted them to do.
And listen,
and he's like, I'm going to cry, take my ball, and go home.
I think it's too simplistic of a point of view.
All right. I just wanted to see where you stood on that, Josh.
I'm standing.
All right, number 2. Ask Josh.
Yes.
Josh, article in the newspaper, the Daily News. Of course, I'm a big proponent of the newspapers.
You're a longtime subscriber.
I'm a dinosaur. NFL
You
players,
called yourself a dinosaur.
NFL players are 80% vaccinated. That's what it says, right?
Overall, yes.
Overall. That number is what the government wants they want 75 for the citizenry of the United States, right?
Correct, yes.
Why is Goodell coming out and forcing this mandatory vaccination, or players are going to lose their money, their paychecks?
This is a much easier.
But if they reach their goal, you can't. This is America.
This is where the numbers get fudgy. See, this is where it gets funny. So it's 80% for the league, but per team has to be 85%.
Okay.
So per team, if you don't have 85%, you don't get certain, extra
9
freedoms.
teams in the league have 90%
That's
vaccination
correct.
rate.
So 19 teams don't have to worry about certain things. The problem is that according to the league says if there are unvaccinated players who test positive and too many of them miss games, the teams have to forfeit a game for whatever reason, which I don't think that's going to happen.
5 teams are less than 5. Only 5 teams are less than 70%.
Correct, and one of them we believe is the Buffalo Bills. By the way,
and they're making all kind of noise.
Well,
By
they're
the
making
way,
all kind of.
Part 2 to this question
Yeah.
for you: is that going to affect their team chemistry? You think?
I mean, it might.
There's some players that are proponents on that team, and there are players that aren't.
Yeah, and you saw multiple Bills players having this conversation on Twitter last week about it. Here's the problem. I asked 2 different NFL people recently about this, and they both told me the same thing, that the NFL players might be the most uninformed union workers on planet Earth, because apparently this was negotiated months ago and nobody talked about it. So the fact that the players are acting like they just found out about it now is a bad job by them. Now, the bigger problem isn't the vaccination.
Right.
The bigger problem is the fact that the NFL only cares about money. They don't really care about vaccines.
All right, because it's their business, obviously.
They're a multi-billion-dollar business, and for them, they get paid billions, not millions, billions of dollars from the TV networks to make sure these games are at 1 o'clock, 4:05, and 8:25 every Sunday. And then, 8:25 on Monday night, and then 8:25 on Thursday night?
I understand that, Josh. But
so for the NFL, they're telling the players.
But we got teams dismissing coaches because they're not.
Well, no, that's different. The coach situation is different. The players are a union. The coaches are not. So the rules for the coaches are.
Should a coach be dismissed because he's not getting vaccinated?
So here's the deal.
It's NFL, America we live in.
Well, hold on. See, people in the media are misconstruing the Rick Dennison situation. And although I do think it's hilarious, there's a guy named Popovich who's a coach in New England. That's hilarious. But the situation with Dennison is this. Tier 1 workers, people who are dealing with the players directly, either have to be vaccinated or have to have a legitimate excuse, whether it's medical or religious in some sort. Dennison wouldn't get a medical exemption and won't give a religious exemption. And he told the Vikings, I'm not getting the vaccine. And the Vikings said, well, then you can't be a tier 1 guy. So you can't.
So whatever happened to HIPAA? Like, the HIPAA when people can't, you're not supposed to share your medical records with anybody. What's that out the window?
It's been negotiated out of a lot of people's contracts because of this COVID situation.
Watch the slippery slope here, man.
It is a slippery slope because technically, according to international law, you cannot force anybody to have a medical procedure if they don't want to.
Right.
Okay. That goes back to World War II. All right. There's a reason why that law is in place. There's a reason why the UN literally will send peacekeeping forces to certain parts of the world to stop
exactly
certain things from happening. Okay. So, the fact that people are willingly waiving their HIPAA rights because of this COVID situation, it's a messy thing. But at the end of the day, the NFL is $1 billion business. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about vaccines. All they care about is, can my game be played at 8:25?
All right. And look, we don't want games to be canceled and played in the middle of the week. That's horrible.
No, but at the same time, there's a way to handle this.
And they're not doing it right.
No, they're not. Because you know who's handling it better than the NFL? The NBA and the UFC. Because both organizations, which are completely different groups of people.
UFC, no, I don't really pay attention that much to the UFC, but I have with this. They've like basically it's whatever you want to do.
Well, no. The UFC set the groundwork for everyone else last May. They were the first sport back on planet Earth.
That's right.
And what they did is they said, we are going to have protocols, we're going to have restrictions. But guess what? If you clear the testing and you clear the protocols, you're fighting.
And those guys are bleeding, spitting on each other.
Dude, there was a great fight last night. Dillashaw versus Sandhagen. Dillashaw got split right where the eyebrow meets the unibrow. And he kept fighting. They kept having to stick, the Vaseline in there. And he won the fight. And now he's the new number 1 contender.
Josh,
he's a 2-time bantamweight champion.
I got to tell you, I watched UFC last 2 weeks ago. I was a female fight. Same thing you described, only her cut was horizontal across the brow.
Yeah, it was above.
I've never seen a woman. First of all, I don't enjoy watching women kicking the crap out of each other. It just doesn't do anything for me. But when you saw that much amount of blood coming down off that girl's face, I felt I couldn't even watch it.
Well, that's just because you're weird.
All right, Josh, one more question.
Listen. All I know is you better never let me spend too much time with your daughter, because I'm going to teach her how to defend herself. And she might turn into one of those girls, all right?
She's a prissy, dainty.
Yeah, for now.
She likes the Barbie dolls.
For now.
She's not into G.I. Joes.
For now.
Or G.I. Jane, for that matter. All right, our last one, we'll do a couple more minutes here. My last one is a little bit controversial, so if you don't want to elaborate on it, the athletes in the Olympics kneeling on a foreign soil. Now, I'm totally against kneeling for anything, but if in the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, in this country, it's different because but when you go abroad and you're representing the United States of America, I have a problem with these girls, the soccer team. I almost found myself hoping they lose.
The problem is that I think
they're in Japan. They're representing our country.
There's a huge difference between protesting on American soil and protesting internationally. And it's something that I don't think people appreciate, the fact that when you represent something, let's take the country, let's take patriotism out of it. Okay. Billy, you're wearing a 97.3 Locker Room with Billy Schweim shirt right now, okay? But if you go out there and do something, you are representing your show. You're representing your brand.
Right.
Okay? If somebody wears a Comcast uniform and they commit a crime, they're representing Comcast, right? Fill in the blank. People need to take the patriotic and the American and the politics out of it. You put that flag on your shoulder or on your jersey, you're representing something more than you.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if you can't represent more than you, then you shouldn't be representing, period.
Exactly. And here's the thing. These athletes give their lives to dedicate and are dedicated to their craft, to their sport. And when they go represent the United States, when you get on that podium, I every time I hear it, it brings me to tears. I get emotional watching an American stand on the top of the podium and hear the national anthem being played. It brings me to tears, Josh.
But Bill, even if you weren't that person, again, even if it didn't mean that to you.
But here's what I celebrate.
Yeah.
The achievement for the country and the representation of all of us.
Right.
That's what it's about.
But even if that wasn't the case, at the end of the day, if you are asked to represent somebody or something that's bigger than you,
right,
it's your job to represent. Leave the politics out of it. Leave the issues out of it. Leave the other stuff out of it. Because at the end of the day, when you walk onto the field and you're wearing an Eagles jersey or you're wearing the American flag, you're representing something bigger than you.
Exactly. All right, the Ask Josh segment went rather well. 609-403-0973. How did Josh do on the three topics? 609-403-0973. Want to remind people the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, for the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. All right, when we return, we'll get back into a little Phillies talk. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app.
This week on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio.
Another home run.
The Chicago White Sox sit high atop the AL Central, while the Milwaukee Brewers end first in the NL Central. And the two go head-to-head this weekend in Milwaukee.
Well struck left center field, way back and gone. Jose Abreu will touch them all.
The Brewers and White Sox. Coverage begins today at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
This is the play-by-play home of Sunday Night Baseball, exclusively on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Train presents The Unstoppables. Those captains of comfort, those gargantuans of the guarantee, those satisfaction savants who persevere perilously beyond probability as the raconteurs of reliability. Here's to Train's heralded heroes of heating and air conditioning, those comfort kings with a tireless tenacity for total turnaround. The Train Comfort Specialists. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Hi, this is Joe Lenigan, owner of Lenigan Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call us today for your free train system quote at 609-399-1200 or online at ocnjplumber.com. And please don't forget to ask for the military and senior discount.
Call and again and again. Call and again and again.
Hi, this is Lou Capelli, Camden County Commissioner Director, reminding everyone to get vaccinated to help protect yourself, your family, and neighbors. The vaccine has proven to be safe, effective, and can stop the spread of COVID-19. We are providing free vaccine to all residents that want it and bringing it into the community. As things open up throughout our region, your vaccine shot, along with wearing a mask and social distancing, will get us to a post-pandemic world. For updated information on COVID-19 and vaccination efforts, visit CamdenCounty.com. We're all in this together. Let's play our part to stay safe and healthy this summer.
CleanRental.com, a fresh approach to uniforms, your uniform supplier. If you're a business owner, CleanRental.com asks you the following questions. 1. Are you completely satisfied with the quality of the uniform rental program you are currently receiving? 2. Are you completely satisfied with the service you are receiving from your present uniform rental company? And 3. Have you had an experience in the last 6 months where the response time to any request has been less than satisfactory? If you're a company with 50 employees or more, please give CleanRental.com a call at 1-800-825-3266. That's 1-800-825-3266. CleanRental.com, a fresh approach to uniforms. Give them a call today.
On some models excludes Corvette with GM financing, excludes prior sales. See dealer for details.
By now, most people know that nobody beats a Bennett Chevrolet deal. Because when you buy a new Chevy from Bennett, you pay the same as any GM supplier employee pays. That's right, not 1 cent more. Plus, Bennett gives you all the rebates that can add up to 25% off MSRP. That's up to 25% off. And of course, Bennett Chevy has 0% financing available. Think about all the ways you save at Bennett Chevrolet. Plus, right now, we want your trade trade. So we're paying a minimum $7,000 for any clunker. You heard right. A minimum $7,000 towards any pre-owned in stock. Nobody pays more than Bennett. You can imagine how much more we'll pay for a good trade. And there's more. You'll never feel any sales pressure and never waste time with stressful negotiating because our non-commissioned sales staff is paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. Nobody beats Bennett Chevrolet, and we mean nobody. Find new roads at Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Sunday morning edition. Josh Hennig in the studio today, co-hosting, producing. Ow! So it's a little overcast, but it's going to change. The sun will come out, and our Philadelphia Phillies better start coming out because this is just the roll. And I wrote on 97.3 ESPN.com on Friday that they have on a roller coaster ride that's not fun. Like, roller coasters are fun. Most people enjoy being on roller coasters. This one is not a fun roller coaster. So I ask you, Josh, last night was just a horrible display of pitching by the Phillies, lack of hitting. I mean, they only scored 3 runs. They've been averaging 5.63 runs per game in the month of July. It's increased every month as the season has progressed. They've got Atlanta today, and they've got 4 against Washington. Mm-hmm. Then Pittsburgh, then another 4 against Washington. In the next, and the trade deadline is the 30th.
That is correct.
Buyers or sellers?
Oh, they're buyers.
Dombrowski came out and said they're buyers.
He said multiple times. He said it on John Clark's podcast. He said it to the media in multiple interviews. They're buyers. The problem I have with them being buyers is, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, because every day that look, if you look at the standings,
Bill, you started the month 10-4.
10-4.
You started 10-4, and then you lose 2 embarrassing games to the Yankees that you should have won. Then you lost the first game to the Braves, a game that just, I don't know what happened. I mean, I feel like that whole game was just an emblematic of the entire season. Then you win on Friday. Zach Wheeler starts. Okay, you got that win.
Right.
Everybody did their job. But then yesterday, it was like the whole team fell apart.
It's almost like remember how the Flyers, once they got down, they just stopped playing?
Mm-hmm.
The Phillies, it's like once they win, it's like they don't keep focus, and they come out and play a crappy game the next game.
It's almost like they won the Marlins series, and then they were like, we've arrived.
Yeah, we've arrived.
It's like they felt like they've overcame the mountain already. And it's like, no, man, you still got a bunch of series to go.
All right, so right now, the NL East, you got the Mets at 51-43. 4.5 games behind them are Atlanta at 48 and 49, and the Phillies, they're tied, okay? Basically 4.5 games to 5. Then you got Washington, who's, I think, heading in the other direction. Rumors now abound.
Washington's going to trade Scherzer.
That's right. Rumors abound that Scherzer's on the market, but he's not coming to Philly.
And they shut down Strasburg again. So you know what? It's one of those deals where the Nats are out. It's literally 3 teams for the NL East. It's the Mets, who are also banged up, the Phillies,
who can't score runs,
and the Braves.
If you look at Mets offense, they got some Conforto, they got
Alonso,
Pete Alonso, and they yet have a hard time scoring runs.
And Lindor's injured right now. DeGrom's injured right now.
DeGrom's out.
They traded for Rich over the hill.
This division is there for the taking. So if you're a player on the Philadelphia Phillies, isn't it time somebody takes the leadership role and get mad? Like you said, we saw Carter Hart show a little emotion, banging his stick. I want somebody to do a Bo Jackson, bang the bat, break the bat, something.
They need the trade for that guy. I think that's the problem.
Who's out there who'll fit that qualification?
Well, the problem isn't who. It's the problem is what are you willing to give up.
Are you willing to move Rhys Hoskins right now? He has let me down. I don't think he's played up to his potential he did his first year when he was here.
I would trade him, but I don't think the Phillies are ready to trade him because I think the problem is that they look at Hoskins and they say, we don't really have a replacement for him right now. They look at Baum and they see a guy who could maybe be a first baseman, but he needs a full spring training to play first base.
See, if you look at this roster, Gene Segura, Romuto, Harper, Hoskins, Gregorius, the nucleus.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys can all hit. It's a matter of them putting it together and getting timely hits, and they're not doing it.
The one guy,
not consistently. Let's put it that way.
There's one guy that I don't think the Phillies can get him, but I think would be the answer to a lot of these problems, and that would be Chris Bryant. Because Chris Bryant is a league MVP. He's a four-time All-Star.
Right.
He's a guy who could play center field, left field, right field, first base, third base, and he's a better fielder than half the Phillies combined.
Yes.
So if you could find a way to land him, the only problem is he's a rental. And you want to give up too much for a guy.
He's up at his like.
He's 30 years old right now.
30 years old.
The problem is, are you willing to give up too much to get a guy who can leave in free agency?
Well, I think something's got to be done with this lineup. Like Trader Chuck is blowing up the Flyers because he's seen enough. I think this team, like they can only reach a level, and then that's it. You know what I mean? You'll get so much out of these players. There are guys like Dombrowski should know who his players are. The three of us in the studio, we're not privy to. We don't see them walking into the stadium, walking out. We don't know what their demeanor's like. We don't know what their family life's like. We don't know like their competitive mentality's like. We don't know anything.
But Bill, here's what I do know. I know what I see, and perception becomes reality.
That's right.
And if the perception is you're not doing enough, guess what?
You got to go.
There you go.
So I'd like to get maybe Chris Bryant. I've been a proponent of this. I heard a lot of people talking about it. Bryant and Kimbrel in a deal, but you want to give up Bryson Stott?
You have to give up way more than Bryson Stott because Kimbrel's also under control.
Anybody wants Spencer Howard? He can't even go 4 innings.
Listen, I'm done with Spencer Howard. I am over the Spencer Howard experiment.
They're holding him with kid gloves.
Like the dude needs to be in AAA. Like the dude is not a major league pitcher. I'm sorry. I don't care what his projection is. I don't care what people say. He's not a major league pitcher. You got to let him. You either got to send him in the minor leagues. This is what I would do if I were the Phillies. I would go out and trade for some pitching. If I don't trade Spencer Howard one of those deals, I tell Spencer, look, you're going to AAA. We're not calling you up the rest of the year. Figure it out. Come to spring training next year. Put up or shut up.
I agree. Now, here's the thing: the Phillies are they're more than one player away, obviously. But I think if they get that one person out, that one leader that can just like jumpstart this team, I think this team, like I said, like we all agree here, the NL East is horrible. It's there for the taking. Let's take it.
Somebody's got to wake up. Someone has to wake up, Bill. All right. I'm awake. You're awake. I don't know if anybody else is.
Colton's awake.
Colton, yes. Colton is awake. Right. I'll give him that.
First hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers, sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, from the shore to center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call our good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Ron's good friends Johnny I and Frank DiGiacomo were on the beach at Ocean City yesterday. We had some good laughs, good guys. Give Ron a call. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. Were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to Ken at jerseymanmagazine.com or give him a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up the first hour. Remember, the second hour, we're going to talk with Charlie O'Connor from The Athletic, and we're going to talk a lot of Flyers. He's got the inside scoop. He covers the Flyers for The Athletic. So we'll talk to Charlie. And then after that, we got to talk Eagles football because the guys are going to report the camp on Tuesday, and we'll have it all for you right here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN.
South Jersey's sports station, 97.3 ESPN. Wake up weekday mornings 6 to 10 with Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Followed by Greeny with Mike Greenberg from 10 till noon. At noon, it's Bart and Hahn. Then from 2 to 6 p.m., it's South Jersey's #1 rated sports talk show, The Sports Bash with Mike Gill. And from 6 to 7, Josh Hennig hosts Game Night. Plus 97.3 ESPN. ESPN is your exclusive play-by-play home for Philadelphia Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers, the NBA playoffs and finals, Major League Baseball, and the World Series, the NFL Draft, Monday, Thursday, and Sunday Night Football, the NFL playoffs, and Super Bowl 56. We are South Jersey's sports leader. 97.3 ESPN. And listen anywhere with the free mobile app.
Hi, I'm Daniel Baldwin, and I'd like you to do something for me right now. That's right, right now. I want you to go to bioblasting.com. That's BIOBLASTING.com. Right now. Just go to bioblasting.com or call them at 833-BIO-BLAST. Use promo code ESPN to get 20% off your order. Bioblasting, located in Egg Harbor Township. People, pet, and planet friendly.
The Point is your destination for a tropical oasis at the Jersey Shore. Now with 2 locations on Bay Avenue in Summers Point and their new location at 43rd Street off the boardwalk in Sea Isle City. The Point has the best food and drink specials with their famous Tiki Bar, offering a waterfront view of the bay in Summers Point and the ocean in Sea Isle. Plus, live music is featured 7 days a week at both The Point locations. For more information, check out The Point on Facebook and visit them online at dothepoint.com.
Do you want to get in shape and feel great and look better on the beach? At Local Gym and Fitness, located at 908 Asbury Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey, you can accomplish your goal. 4 local guys with a passion and experience in fitness wanted to open a gym that delivers a quality, hospitable, clean, and friendly environment. Local Gym and Fitness is well stocked with 4 fully loaded Olympic and CrossFit platforms, Jacob's ladders, Stairmasters, bikes, and ergs. Local Gym and Fitness provides quality trainers to lend their expertise with all your training needs. They're open 7 days a week. Memberships are affordable, so be a local at Local Gym and Fitness. Call them today at 609-545-8732 or go online at localgymandfitness.com. I'll see you there.
If you're ready to get back to work or are just thinking of changing careers, 97.3 ESPN's virtual job fair is the place to start. Just go to 97.3ESPN.com and click on the virtual job fair. You'll find exciting opportunities from a variety of local businesses, including
Precision Electronic Glass in Vineland,
Maurice Piers in Wildwood, Release Boatworks in Egg Harbor, Town Square Media in South Jersey.
Take the first step to a brighter future today. Visit 97.3ESPN.com.
You know it. Jersey Fresh tomatoes are the best. New Jersey Secretary of Agriculture Doug Fisher here. Jersey Fresh tomatoes are ripe and ready for sandwiches, burgers, salads, and sauces. Be sure to pick up some Jersey Fresh tomatoes today. Stay loyal to local. Jersey Fresh tomatoes.
We're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN. I didn't hear the lead segue music, but we're back in, and we have. Let me introduce my new board operator. He's going to be with me, I guess, soon enough. We're working him in slowly but surely. Let's welcome in Colton Gesser. What's up, Colton?
How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being here and learning the board. Now, you went to school. You went to Rowan University.
I did.
And you were a major in radio and TV.
Yep.
And a minor in sports communication.
That is correct.
So you're getting the start to your career here.
Yes, I'm very glad. There's been a lot of success here with people starting here, so I'm excited to be part of the group.
There has been some success, absolutely. Colton, we were just talking off the air, but you, I find it interesting that with the youth youth today, especially people in our area. Now you live a little bit north of here.
Yep.
Where do you hail from?
Manchester,
which is. What, about 45 minutes north?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Near Tom's River?
Yep, bingo.
Okay.
Right on the head.
So that's like the borderline where you get people that are either Philadelphia sports fans or sports fans up north.
Yep.
But you seem to be like a lot of other young people around this area especially who are not 4 for 4, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, and Eagles. You're all over the map.
I'm quite the opposite.
Explain why.
My father's a Steeler fan. So clearly I grasped onto that. Yankee fan, clearly that's kind of my north side, and a Devils fan, clearly quite the opposite also compared to Philly. But and then I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan. So I became a fan because of Kobe Bryant.
So if you
And,
had if you had a map of your bedroom, you'd be putting lines all over where your affiliations
I got pins all over the place here. That's kind of where it is. But the sports is my life. I want to get into it for a reason. I have a broad horizon. It's not just my team. So.
And you told me you're going to go down to Florida to watch a soccer game.
I am going down to watch soccer this week. Yeah, who would have thought?
All right, well, it's we're happy to have you aboard, and I look forward to working with you as we move forward.
I'm excited as well.
But this show is predicated on Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, Eagles.
That's right.
And Villanova, Temple, whatever sport. And also, we like to get good stories from people that live in this area that have made it to the professional ranks. And we've had several players, former and current players, to call into this show. If you miss any of the interviews that I have, you can go to the Locker Room with Billy Schweim, my podcast, on 8pod, 9 podcast locations, Spotify, Google, they're all up there. Or you can go to my website where we post all the interviews, the Locker Room with Billy Schweim, and the YouTube channel. You can see Joe Namath, Rich Gannon, Dick Stockton, Mark Messier. We've had a plethora of people, sports stars calling into the show, and we like to have a lot of fun talking with all kind of people. So we're at the 11 o'clock hour. When we get back, we're going to talk with Charlie O'Connor from The Athletic. And Charlie will be, we're going to talk Flyers because Trader Chuck, man, he's on a roll. And we'll talk to that. And then we'll wrap it up with the Eagles. We'll give you about 45 minutes with the Eagles. It's the Locker Room with Billy Schweim right here on 97.3 ESPN. Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Service in Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson & Sons for electrical. They're number one.
In my life, I've learned an important lesson. My age doesn't define who I am. I do.
Comfort Keepers believes in the power of joy and purpose at any age.
In my life, there is a Comfort Keeper.
Comfort Keepers, elevating the human spirit.
Contact Comfort Keepers, serving all of South Jersey at 609-277-7855 or visit comfortkeepers.com for a free consultation.
Staples Connect has everything you need for back to school at amazing prices. Right now, the TI-84 Plus CE Graphing Calculator is just $99.99. You save $55, our lowest price of the season. With savings like that, your student won't just be ready for school. They'll be first day of school pop quiz ready.
It's showtime.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com/back-to-school today and get more than ready for back to school with amazing prices for everything on your list. Ends 8/1, limit 2 per customer, in store only.
Paid for by Bank on Yourself.
Would you get on an airplane if you knew it had a 50% chance of crashing? You may be riding that plane right now. If you have your money in a 401k or IRA and you plan to take out the recommended percentage each year when you retire, your chance of running out of money is 50%. 50%. But there's a better and safer way to secure your income in retirement. Discover how in a free book called Rescue Your Retirement. This wealth building strategy has never had a losing year in more than a century. In fact, even the man who invented the 401k now prefers this method instead. Get Rescue Your Retirement free for just a small shipping charge and enjoy a safe landing and a comfortable retirement. Get this free book and make sure you don't run out of money. Hurry, this offer is extremely limited. To get your free copy, just go to growwealthsafely.com. That's growwealthsafely.com to discover how to rescue your retirement. growwealthsafely.com.
New Jersey, this is not a test. If you're looking for a deal on a new vehicle, get to Matt Blatt Nissan and get $2,500 off on every new 2021 Nissan Murano SUV in stock.
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt
Black Nissan.
Yes, get $2,500 off every new 2021 Nissan Murano in stock. Drive it today with 0 down and pay 0 interest for 60 months. Plus, Matt Blatt Nissan will buy your current vehicle for cash or trade it for top dollar. What do you get? $2,500 off. 0 money down, 0% interest on every 2021 Nissan Murano in stock. And don't forget our fast track checkout. So bring any vehicle and Matt Blatt Nissan will buy it for cash or pay top dollar for any trade in Egg Harbor Township next to Home Depot or online at mattblattnissan.com. Negative equity will be refinanced into new vehicle. Rate qualifications exist. Not all will qualify. 0% APR financing based on 1667 per thousand borrowed. Offers can't be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or go to mattblattnissan.com for complete details. Offer ends 8/6/21. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking new users up with an epic Olympic bonus. Just place your first bet of at least $10 on any Olympic sport and get a $100 bonus. Or you could bet at least $20 and you'll get a $200 bonus. That's a bonus up to $200 regardless of the outcome of the bet. You'll get the bonus on any Olympic event, track and field, gymnastics, basketball, and more when you place your first bet of $10 or more between July 19th and July 27th. Promotions like this are just one of the reasons why I love betting with FanDuel Sportsbook. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up with promo code Hennig, and go for gold today. That's promo code Hennig with FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be 21 or to play and present in New Jersey. First online real.
All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. We're broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can check us out there. Josh Hennig in the studio, and we're joined today by Colton Gesser. He's going to be my new technician, my board operator, and we're looking forward to working with him. And we had a little Phillies talk. We had asked Josh a few questions today, but the big story this weekend is the last 4 days has been Trader Chuck. And anytime the Flyers make moves, I got to go to my go-to guy. So let's welcome in. Let's go to the Barb's Harley Davidson Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room from The Athletic, who covers the Flyers for The Athletic, Charlie O'Connor. Good morning, Charlie.
How's it going, Billy?
Charlie, man, how about Trader Chuck, man? He's going nuts.
Hey, he said it was going to be a busy offseason, and he wasn't lying. They are doing a lot of stuff.
Guess what, Charlie? I love it, man. This team wasn't going anywhere. They were mired in mediocrity. They played uninspired hockey. You had Carter Hart busting sticks over his crossbar. And guess what? I applaud everything that Trader Chuck is what I'm referring to him now as Trader Chuck is doing.
Yeah, it was very clear that he believed this team needed a shakeup. And, really until yesterday, you could make the argument that, well, he was just trying to improve the roster, that all the moves that were made. Shane Gostisbehere was traded, last week, mostly for cap room, I think. But the trade he made yesterday, trading Jake Voracek, that's a shakeup move. That's a move. And I think it's a smart trade because I think Cam Atkinson, who they got back in the Jake Voracek trade, I think he actually fits this roster better. He has more of a shooter's mentality. He's really good on the penalty kill. There's a lot of needs that he fills that Voracek just is not that kind of player. But you trade a guy like Jay Voracek, who's been, a face of this franchise for 10 years. That's a move you make when you want to change the nature of a team. And clearly that was a goal of this offseason, to change, the inherent nature of the Flyers and shake things up and hope that allows the Flyers to basically break the cycle of mediocrity that they've been in.
And that's the mark of a good general manager, someone that's not afraid to make the big move and seeing that, look, the Phillies and the Sixers are now being because of the Flyers being aggressive and Chuck Fletcher, flexing his muscle. The Phillies and the Sixers are on the clock now. I mean, Chuck Fletcher's done. I think he's making the fan base happy by doing something.
I would say that, and obviously we'll see how these moves play out. We're not going to know if they worked until the season begins. But I think most Flyers fans are at the very least happy that by making these moves, Chuck Fletcher is acknowledging that what happened this past season was not acceptable. The Flyers obviously came into the season with a lot of expectations. They'd won their first playoff series in 8 years in 2020. They were expected to be a team that was going to contend, maybe not win the championship, but at least contend, at least make the playoffs and potentially go on a run. And they fell flat on their face. And I think there was a feeling among the fans that if the Flyers didn't do anything in response to that disappointing of a season, that a lot of people would have been out on the team, because you can't have a season like the one the Flyers had in 2020-21 and basically, just say that that's fine. You have to have a response. And the fact that Chuck Fletcher this offseason has been aggressive, the fact that he shook up the roster, the fact that he's made moves, the fact that he's made additions, I think a lot of fans, who maybe a couple weeks ago were skeptical of the Flyers are now like, hey, you know what? I'm going to give them another look, because at the very least, they acknowledge that what happened, from January through May, that was not acceptable. That was not the kind of season that we can just accept and write off.
Hey, Charlie, it's Josh Hennig here. I want to ask you, all these trades that Chuck made, I think one thing that's overlooked a little bit is the fact that they've brought in now 3 guys who are alternate captains with their teams, Ristolainen, Ellis, and Atkinson. And that in of itself seems to me that they're not just changing the roster on the ice, that the goal was to change the people in the locker room as well.
Yeah, and Fletcher flat out said that yesterday when we talked to him after the draft, that, he said it wasn't necessarily that it was a repudiation of the guys that were in the locker room, but he just felt like they needed new voices. He felt like they needed a new mix. He said that, the locker room during this past season, it was not a happy place to be in. People were angry. There weren't smiles in the locker room. And you know what? That kind of thing carries over to your on-ice play. If you're miserable off the ice, you're probably not going to be playing up to your potential on the ice. And, you get a guy like Ryan Ellis, who is, definitely a leader on a Nashville team that made the Cup final a few years ago. That's going to help. You get a guy like Cam Atkinson, who, not only was a leader with Columbus, but also, he's a guy who bought in fully to the John Tortorella mentality of defense and two-way play and 200-foot hockey. And you bring him in, if he becomes a leader on the team, which I expect he will be, because that's his personality, he's a big personality, if he's going to be going out there blocking a shot, and just, taking a Shea Weber slap shot, and he's a leader on the team, the younger guys are going to see that. And that's the kind of thing that, it can help the overall, mentality of a team, I believe. Now, the Ristolainen trade, I'm a little bit more skeptical on, because, in Buffalo, he was not a very good player. It's a bet on his physical upside more than what he's done as an NHL player. But I understand the concept behind it, in that, you want to get a physical presence. You want to get a guy you could theoretically pair with Travis Sanheim on the second pair, and you think he can be that guy. But I agree that, trying to shake up the locker room, trying to change up the mix, it was clearly a major part of this offseason.
The other thing is that interesting to me, Charlie, is the fact that, it's like Chuck Fletcher was having to balance 2 different worlds. He was trying to balance the money side, getting rid of Gostisbehere's money, saving, $2.5 million in the Atkinson Voracek deal. But he's also trying to make sure he has the bodies that he needs to improve the team on the ice. So it seems like with these 4 trades, he's really tried to do his best with that juggling act.
Yeah, and it's hard. One of the underrated aspects of this offseason, and it was the same thing last offseason, is that it's a stagnant cap. Normally in normal times, every year the salary cap ceiling in the NHL, it goes up about, $1 to $2 million at least. Well, because of the pandemic, because people haven't been able to go to games, because revenues are down, they've just kept the cap ceiling at $81.5 million. And that means that GMs don't have the benefit of knowing that every year they're going to get a little bit more money to play with just because another year's passed. So because of that, it's tough. And that's why you have a move like the Shane Gostisbehere move. Shane Gostisbehere, in my mind, he's a good player. Is he a great player? Is he the guy from his rookie year? Is he the guy from 2017-18? No, those were his best seasons he's ever going to have. But he's a useful player. He's useful on the power play. He's probably a good, on the depth chart, if he's your number 4 or your number 5, pretty good player, but you had to clear space. If they were going to make moves like the one they made for Ryan Ellis, the one they made for Rasmus Ristolainen, if they're going to, get a backup goalie upgrade to have Carter Hart's back in case he struggles again, they need to clear cap space. And that's why you have to, give up a second round pick to trade Shane Gostisbehere, because it's a salary cap situation where they have no other choice but to move out guys who, aren't bad players, but maybe they don't quite live up to their contract. They don't quite fit on the roster anymore. So you got to move them out to make sure that everything else fits.
We're talking with Charlie O'Connor, who covers the Flyers for The Athletic. And Charlie, people are questioning maybe a little bit the Ristolainen move, but I'm in love with it. And Josh Hennig knows why. Hennig knows why, because I love big guys, big physical defensemen that clean the porch out, that, maybe give Carter Hart a better view of what's going on. I mean, I know he's a career minus 163, but you're bringing a guy like Ryan Ellis, and he's a plus 114. So they, right now, for me, for my money, I'm very excited about the things that Chuck Fletcher has done. Getting rid of moving Gostisbehere. Obviously, there was a giveaway, and you had to give away draft picks. I'm not happy about that, but overall, I'm giving him an A for that, for all the work he's done the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's certainly had a busy offseason, and I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Ryan Ellis trade. I think that was a massive upgrade for the roster, and I'm not a hater of Phil Myers. I think Phil Myers will be a good defenseman in the NHL, but Ryan Ellis is a top pair guy. He's been a top pair guy for years, and he can do it all out there. So I love that move. You mentioned Ristolainen. I'm skeptical of that, as I said earlier, just because, he was in Buffalo, he was used as a big minutes top pair defenseman, and he was not good in that role. Now, the theory among the scouting community is that, okay, he might not be a top pair defenseman, but if you use him in a more limited role, if you use him second pair, third pair minutes, he'll be great. And he might be. That's the risk the Flyers are taking. But the fact of the matter is that we haven't seen him in that role, so you don't know if he's going to be good in that role. He might just be bad in any role. But we'll see. The Flyers clearly believe in him, and I totally agree with you that he does bring a physical presence.
Charlie, here's a guy that was he was picked 8th overall. So I mean, he has an upside to him. He's been in the league for a little bit, but I just think maybe this guy is like Myers, and he needs a change of scenery.
It's possible, and there are certainly players that played in Buffalo were not good in Buffalo because it's a toxic environment up there. Not that the city of Buffalo is a toxic environment, but that team is a toxic environment. And when they left the Buffalo Sabres, they played much better. So it could be that, and I think that's kind of what the Flyers are betting on.
Hey, Charlie, they haven't addressed this yet. So what is the plan for the backup goaltender? What do you think they're going to do? Because it looks like, at least if I'm reading the tea leaves, it looks like no Brian Elliott coming back next year. So what are they doing with the guy who's going to be behind Carter Hart?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a priority for them to get a better backup goalie. I think they saw this past season that, and Brian Elliott, he's been a good soldier in Philadelphia for a long time. He's certainly had, his fair share of very good games, but he's 36 years old. And what they found out this past year is that if Carter Hart struggles, Brian Elliott cannot carry the load because he just does not have the physical ability to carry the load anymore without wearing down. And they realized that, that was abundantly clear this season. So I think they're going to go out, and I think they're probably going to spend, $2.5 million of cap on a better backup goalie. And there are guys out there, you've got James Reimer, potentially Jonathan Bernier if he doesn't re-sign with Carolina, who just traded for his rights. You've got goalies out there who are high-end backups, and I think that's who they're going to be looking at. I broke down the Flyers cap situation with The Athletic yesterday, and they have about $3.5 million left. When you account for the fact they have to re-sign Carter Hart, he's a restricted free agent. They have to re-sign Travis Sanheim, also a restricted free agent. They have about $3.5 million left, which gives them about $2 million to get a backup goalie. And I think they're going to spend it on that. I think they definitely realize that, look, they expect that Carter Hart will be much better next year than he was this past year. They believe this year was an anomaly, but they also know that it's not 100% guarantee that Carter Hart is going to be the Carter Hart from 2 years ago. So they have to get some insurance. And I think they're going to be willing to spend to get that insurance.
Troy, obviously, I don't think Chuck Fletcher's done. Trader Chuck isn't done because, he solidified. I think he did a great job solidifying the defense. I think, they do need a goal scorer. And, even though they added Cam Atkinson, which I really like, Tarasenko's out there. Is there any possibility of picking up a Tarasenko or someone else that you might be privy to know that we don't, that's out there that the Flyers could be interested in?
I definitely think that they've been circling around Tarasenko. Now, whether they can make that deal work, I'm not sure, but I think they like him. I think they like the fact that, he's not going to cost that much because he's something of a reclamation project after he had three shoulder surgeries and he, requested a trade from St. Louis. So he's not like he's going to come at that high of a cost. The question is that how do you make the money work? Right. Especially now, because the big way the Flyers were going to be able to make the money work was if maybe they moved out Jake Voracek in the Tarasenko deal. Well, now Jake Voracek is gone. Now they swapped him for Cam Atkinson. So I don't think the Flyers are out on Vladimir Tarasenko. It's just harder now to figure out how they'll make the money work. Maybe the only way you make a deal like that work is if in some way or another you're moving out of James Van Riemsdyk, and James Van Riemsdyk is a pretty good player. So, it's tougher. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they're not interested, because I do believe they're interested in Vladimir Tarasenko. It's just a little bit harder, and by a little bit, I mean a lot harder, to make sure that somebody like Vladimir Tarasenko can fit under the cap when you're also making a fair deal for him, considering what his value is at this time.
All right, the one last thing for you, Charlie. The Philadelphia Flyers selected 6 players during the 2021 NHL entry draft on Friday, Saturday. Anybody stand out? I know they got a speedy winger in the 46th overall pick, but anybody stand out for you that might make an immediate impact?
I don't think anybody's going to make an immediate impact. I agree that the Finnish winger they took in the second round, he's the really intriguing player to me because he's a very fast winger. He's a shoot first guy. One guy who is intriguing, I don't know if he's going to make it, but they picked a local guy in the 7th round. They picked this guy McLaughlin, who he's from Chester County. He's going to Penn State next year. So not saying he's going to pan out. Obviously, 7th round picks are kind of like lottery tickets. But hey, it'd be pretty cool if you got a local Pennsylvania kid on the Flyers in like 4 or 5 years, right?
That'd be pretty cool.
Well, Charlie, Rick Tocchet was a 6th round pick.
Say,
so
yeah.
All right, Charlie. Listen, man. Anytime we have Flyers information, we go right to you. You're my Flyers insider. I really appreciate it. And listen, we'll talk to you soon, and have a great rest of your weekend.
All right, thanks, guys.
There he is, Charlie O'Connor, who covers the Flyers for The Athletic. And I tell you what, man, Trader Chuck, Josh, I love the moves. Second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, or experience lively atmosphere in the pub. There's a full calendar of golf and social events throughout the season to appeal to everyone. To become a member, for more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. All right, when we return, Josh and I are going to talk Eagles football for the rest of the show. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. Ocean City's real estate market is red hot, and you need an agent that has the knowledge and expertise to help. Contact Ocean City's top agent, Mark Grimes. Mark has been selling real estate for 30 years in South Jersey. He can answer all your real estate questions and find you the perfect property. He's available anytime on his cell at 609-425-2042. When Philadelphia star athletes are looking for a house at the beach, they contact Mark Grimes, specializing in buying and selling vacation homes, single-family homes, condominiums, and duplexes, residential and commercial, as well as new construction projects or investment opportunities. Mark Grimes, he's your agent at the beach. Give him a call right now, 609-425-2042, or check out his website at grimes.com. Do you want to get in shape and feel great and look better on the beach? At Local Gym and Fitness, located at 908 Asbury Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey, you can accomplish your goal. 4 local guys with a passion and experience in fitness wanted to open a gym that delivers a quality, hospitable, clean, and friendly environment. Local Gym and Fitness is well-stocked with 4 fully loaded Olympic and CrossFit platforms, Jacob's ladders, Stairmasters, bikes, and ergs. Local Gym and Fitness provides quality trainers to lend their expertise with all your training needs. They're open 7 days a week. Memberships are affordable, so be a local at Local Gym and Fitness. Call them today at 609-545-8732 or go online at localgymandfitness.com. I'll see you there. Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Service in Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson and Sons for electrical, they're number one.
Here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig, producing and
Hennig.
Hennig. I said it right?
He said Hennig.
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 It's my voice is scratchy today.
Get some honey.
Right.
It's in the drawer behind you.
Co-hosting, producing.
Doing whatever needs to be
Hey,
done.
Josh, you ready for this? Let's try this again. Josh, you ready for Eagles football?
Oh, I'm ready for some Eagles football. Let's go.
There you go. Are you in a 3-point stance?
I prefer a 1 point, but
all right. So players report Tuesday the 27th.
They do.
I mean, football's here.
They're 2 days away. Yeah.
We just saw a report on the coming over that Deshaun Watson going to report.
Yeah, he's only reporting so he doesn't get that $50,000 a day fine. He doesn't want to lose the money.
Do you blame him?
I don't blame him, especially
No,
considering he has
I
an uncertain
guess
future.
Maybe this is one question I left out the Josh Ask Josh segment, But the situation with him, I mean, is he still under investigation? I really have been paying too much attention to
He's
it.
under investigation, but the problem is because it's a civil suit and it's not.
So it's not nothing criminal then.
He hasn't been charged criminally yet. So
is that a possibility? Usually
well,
the civil comes usually after.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that they. So just to backtrack, months ago when the lawyer first came out, they claimed that they informed the police, but the police said nobody told us. So I don't really know who to believe.
Right.
Is this just a money grab? Is this a situation where they had circumstantial evidence? I don't know. It's the whole thing is very
well in America.
bizarre.
You're innocent until proven guilty.
Well, you're supposed to be.
That's what you're supposed to be. And the thing is, if there's no criminal charges and it's all civil usually comes after the criminal trial's been settled.
Bill, I said this earlier in the week. Like, here's my problem with the whole Deshaun Watson thing. I think the NFL is the most ridiculous when it comes to handling this stuff because Dante Stallworth was drinking and driving, killed somebody, went to jail for 30 days, came back to the NFL.
Right.
Okay. Ray Rice never went to jail, never was convicted, went to marriage counseling for slugging his wife.
His wife didn't press charges, though.
But they also went to marriage counseling. They're still together.
Right.
He never went to jail. He got kicked out of the NFL.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so let me get this straight. So one guy was drinking and driving and killed somebody. He's allowed to play. Somebody's caught on video and he gets kicked out of the league. So should we have a video of somebody? It's the only way they get. I
agree with that assessment.
I don't like it. I don't like the fact that the NFL has a different set of rules for each case.
All right. I'm glad you straightened me out on that.
I'm here to help, Bill.
Okay. Let's talk Eagles football because I'm ready.
Football.
I'm ready. Because the Phillies are mired in mediocrity. We don't know what they're going to do.
We've been waiting too long for football.
We've been waiting too long for football. And you know what? We alluded to it yesterday. First time we talked about it a little while in the locker room. I wanted to talk more about it today with you. Before we get into the players, let's look at the coaching staff. Nick Sirianni. I think I like Nick. I'm open-minded, and I love his enthusiasm. I love his competitive mantra that he likes to promote. I think that's all good. I want to ask you this question: do you think how long will this honeymoon, and how long will the players buy into it, or will they stop buying into it with the new enthusiasm that he brings?
They will for as long as it makes sense for them to. I know that sounds very basic, but here's the reason why I say that. Pete Carroll's been in Seattle for a decade now, okay? There's some people who say his mantra, his voice, his style has gotten stale for some of them. That's why some of the guys have left Seattle because they're just tired of the Pete Carroll thing. They don't hate him. They don't dislike him.
They just want to change.
Now, on the flip side, Bill Belichick's the opposite.
Right.
Belichick's is monotone, a machine, and he's nicer to you after you're not playing for him than when you were playing for him. But people want to go there and play. But what's the difference? Belichick has won multiple Super Bowls. Pete Carroll has won one. So to me, if Sirianni wins games and he's not overbearing, he'll be fine. But if he gets overbearing like Pete Carroll does, dudes get tired of it. They're grown men. They're not children anymore. They don't want the rah-rah all the time. Now, I don't even know if Sirianni's...
That's. I'm glad you used the term rah-rah.
Yeah.
Because you know a lot of and this is what with the Phillies too right now. There's no one. They all try to lead by example. And that's well and good, but you need that leadership guy, that one guy or two or three players that can
the staple.
That can control the locker room, that can lead by example, but also lead with leadership skills. That's something that's innate. You can't teach leadership. So I'm saying, in the absence of that, can this coaching staff, with that rah-rah mentality, maintain it over the course of through the preseason and a team that's going to have to fight adversity? Let's face it, there's a lot of question marks on this team. I like what Howie Roseman has done with some of the personnel that we'll get into. But the coaching staff, Jonathan Gannon, the new defensive coordinator, not too much experience. This is his first job. Yeah.
And the other thing is that, Sirianni seems to be one way with the media and another way with the players. I don't mean that in like a chameleon sense. I mean that if you go back and watch the NFL films of him when he was with the Colts a couple years ago, he's running around the field. He's dropping F-bombs in the middle of practice. I mean, he's a football guy on the field. You know, he's one of the guys in some ways, but he's tough. You know, he's reasonable, he's tough, but he's upbeat. He's kind of like if you ever watched Hard Knocks last year, like he's like because last year they had the Chargers and the Rams. They did both the LA teams.
Right.
But Sirianni's personality is like a blend of Sean McVay and Anthony Lynn. He's got the energy of Sean McVay, but the old school mentality of Lynn.
Are you worried about their youth with the players? I mean, let's face it, Sirianni's 39 years old. He's not much older than some of the players.
I'm not worried about it because Sean McVay took a team to the Super Bowl, and he's younger than me.
Yeah.
You know, it's McVay is barely 34, I think, right now. Like to me, I think people care less about age than they ever did before. I feel like this generation of players, all they care about is, are you going to put me in a position to be successful?
All right, Shane Steichen.
Shane Steichen.
Second job as a coordinator, first with the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about his youthful experience? I mean, he does have some experience in that role, but are these guys going to be able to command respect?
Absolutely, because they've already commanded it.
Okay, well, he has.
You know, guys like Sirianni and Steichen, they've already been the man of the offensive coordinator. They've been position coaches, and I think that one of the problems in the NFL is that, you know, you got to ask, what is your experience? What is your background? What did you do before you got this job? Like, look at Sean McVay. That dude coached every position, and then he became a coordinator. Like, to me, I think that shows the players that my coach got here by merit. He wasn't handed a job. This wasn't a nepotism thing. Right. I think players are more accepting of guys who earned it, like they have to earn it. Because, Bill, it's hard for me. Bill, if you came to me and said, Josh, I want you to do something.
Right.
But then you didn't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Don't do as I do as I say type
So you want me to run 10 laps? It's a lot easier coming from the guy who had to earn his job than the guy who may have been handed
I agree with that 100%. All right, another coach, the quarterback's coach, Brian Johnson.
Love to hire.
A lot of people do. And
I love it.
And you know, he was down in Florida, had a lot of success with Kyle Trask.
Yep.
And
before that,
Pitts,
Dak Prescott.
At Dak Prescott. So I mean, a lot of people this is his first year in the pros.
They literally hired him for Jalen Hurts. Brian Johnson's known Jalen Hurts since he was a kid, personally.
Right.
And you have a guy who understands the quarterback position. I think it's a huge part of it. And bringing in a guy from the outside who's not like everybody else, you need another set of voices in the room. And I think that it's a good sign that the Eagles are willing to try different things.
Kevin Patullo. Okay. He's worked with Sirianni in Indianapolis.
He's his right-hand man.
Do you think by bringing someone, obviously you want a familiarity, and working with someone that you have a good working relationship bodes well for success on the field?
For structure as well. You need the continuity.
Are you worried that he's bringing too many people that he's?
No, because that's what everybody does.
Okay.
Everyone does that. The problem you have is what we saw, again, going back to Hard Knocks, a few years ago when Hugh Jackson was the coach of the Browns.
Right.
He had almost nobody on his staff that he brought with him. They were all these randos from around the league.
Right.
And what happened is you saw in the meeting room, Todd Haley and Hugh Jackson started butting heads because they're from different worlds. And Todd Haley, you could tell he was angling for Hugh Jackson's job. He was fighting the coach. Well, guess what? He got fired, and then Hugh got fired. So it's like, you know, you need people who are going to bring continuity with you.
By the way, did you find out the saying that that John Gruden did for me when the first Hard Knocks?
So
I
found
what was he?
Knock on wood if you're with me.
Knock on wood if you're with me. That's what it was.
Yeah. What happened was I was trying to find the knock on wood audio.
Yeah, I want to hear that if you can find that.
But what I found instead was I found something else.
That was the best one of them all.
I found the actual open from the Hard Knocks episode.
Let's hear that.
All right. So this is, for those of you who don't remember, when John Gruden and the Raiders were on, this was
the best.
I have two of the episode openers. I found these.
Everybody right now has dreams, don't they, guys? I got a dream of winning a Super Bowl. I got a dream of being in a Pro Bowl. I'm really not into dreams anymore, okay? I'm into nightmares. You guys with me on that? We're not trying to go to the Peach Bowl. We're not trying to go to the Gator Bowl or the Bluebonnet Bowl. We're trying to go to the Super Bowl.
I love it.
I mean, if that does not get you pumped up.
Well, give me a knock on what. Yeah, I gotta have that. Here's
another. This is another.
That brought
opener.
smiles to my face.
Oh, you were pumping your fist here in the studio.
Okay, on a serious note now, I like where we're going. I like what we're doing. But as I said at the beginning, the second week, it's time for us to raise the bar now. Are we clear on that? We got to raise the bar. I want to practice with better etiquette. Okay, stay off the ground, stay away from the quarterback. I want the backs and receivers to finish runs. Okay, I want better etiquette. But more than anything, I want better execution. Are we clear on that? I want better execution. I want you to get a little bit pissed off. All right, not a lot of people expect very much from us. Do they? Do they? You've been reading about us? Not a lot of people expect enough from us. I'm tired, man. I'm tired of reading about it. It's time for you to stick your foot up somebody's ass, man. I'm looking for relentless, every situation strain. I want everybody to pick it up tonight because we're capable of being a great football team.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
Yeah, so
I love it. I'm pumped up now.
Yeah, so I knew I had some hard knock stuff.
That's
left
Jim.
over.
That's Vince Lombardi-esque type of stuff.
Well, the best part is I love the Hard Knocks music that's slowly
yeah.
under there,
Like a symphony of like it reaches its crescendo.
And also, I love that they have Liv Schreiber doing the Hard Knocks the last several years. Like his voice narrating stuff just feels like football.
But that what he was saying translates to what the Eagles are doing right now.
And by the way,
we went 4-11 last year. It was an 4-11-1. It was an embarrassment. We got a new staff. We're tired of reading about how bad we are.
Yep.
I'm tired of being talked about.
You're ticked off, Bill?
I'm pissed. All right. Second hour of the locker room was brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, experience lively atmosphere in the pub. To become a member, get more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. When you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston for me. Hey, friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan and the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy being called a Maserati. Maserati, the mainline, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience is not at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the mainline, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the mainline, at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more Eagles talk. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app.
South Jersey's sports station, 97.3 ESPN. Wake up weekday morning 6 to 10 with Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Followed by Greeny with Mike Greenberg from 10 till noon. At noon, it's Bart and Hahn. Then from 2 to 6 p.m., it's South Jersey's #1 rated sports talk show, The Sports Badge with Mike Gill. And from 6 to 7, Josh Hennig hosts Game Night. Plus, 97.3 ESPN is your exclusive play-by-play home for Philadelphia Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers, the NBA playoffs and finals, Major League Baseball, and the World Series, the NFL Draft, Monday, Thursday, and Sunday Night Football, the NFL playoffs, and Super Bowl 56. We are South Jersey's sports leader. 97.3 ESPN. And listen anywhere with the free mobile app.
Train presents The Unstoppables, those captains of comfort, those gargantuans of the guarantee, those satisfaction savants who persevere perilously beyond probability as the raconteurs of reliability. Here's to Train's heralded heroes of heating and air conditioning, those comfort kings with a tireless tenacity for total turnaround. The Train Comfort Specialists. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Hi, this is Joe Lenigan, owner of Lenigan Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call us today for your free Train system quote at 609-399-1200 or online at ocnjplumber.com. And please don't forget to ask for the military and senior discount.
Call and again, again and again. Call and again, again and again.
Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza, the pizza you're gonna love. It's got the freshest taste that you'll find any place. Randazzo's Pizza, there's one right nearby. Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza. It's a pizza like you've never had before. Eat it or take it home, no matter where you roam. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Why would you call anyone else besides Randazzo's Pizzeria and Family Restaurant, 34th and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Open year-round, 7 days a week, offering free delivery on the whole island and to the beach. Pizza, pasta, salads, entrees, subs, paninis, and wraps. Voted best of the shore. Call 814-1600. 814-1600.
Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Hi, I'm Daniel Baldwin, and I'd like you to do something for me right now. That's right, right now. I want you to go to bioblasting.com. That's BIOBLASTING.com. Right now. Just go to bioblasting.com or call them at 833-BIO-BLAST. Use promo code ESPN to get 20% off your order. Bioblasting, located in Egg Harbor Township. People, pet, and planet friendly.
All right, we're back here in the locker room, getting you ready for Eagles football players report on the 27th, which is is Tuesday. And Josh Hennig, he's going to get me pumped up with more from John Gruden.
So we found the knock on wood. So for those who don't remember, this was episode 4, where they kind of like ran through all the situations where Gruden says knock on wood if you're with me. So this was from Hard Knocks a few years ago.
Chance to be one hell of a big story this year, man, if we put our heart and soul into this football team. Knock on wood if you have that message, please. And we're here to help you. All right, we're here to help you. Don't grab jerseys. Don't do it. These are my toys. These are our toys. These are our friends. Knock on wood if you're with me. Take that son of a bitch with you. Boof! They don't seem to like it. Let's pound the ball right up their ass. Knock on wood if you're with me, man. All right?
I love it, Josh. You want to take my sticker off the stream there so people can see me? We're broadcasting live on YouTube.
Sorry,
Facebook,
I got like 5 different tabs open here.
But does that not get you pumped up?
Oh, listen, Gruden's a unique animal, man. I mean,
I love him.
I listen. I know some people don't like his personality. They think he's too much. I don't mind him. He doesn't bother me.
He's a showman. Like this is entertainment, right?
Well, it's more than just entertainment.
I know, but
it's the fact that what he's doing is he's trying to connect with the guys. You know, you got to walk into a locker room and you realize that you're not one of the players. So how are you going to connect with? What are you going to say? Well, what are you going to do that's going to get them to buy in?
Coach has to have the ability to make players want them to run through a wall for him.
Right.
And that what we just played, I'd run through a wall for him. That gets me pumped up right here in the studio.
I also love when he said, because, you know, when Gruden says, we're here to help you guys. And we're here to help you win. So when your coach says that to you, you're like, well, that's a little different. My coach isn't just telling me to go out there and run. He's saying, how can I help you?
Right.
How can I help you be successful? What can I do to put you in a position to be
It's
successful?
like a little bit of Jerry Maguire-esque. Help me. Help you. Help me. Help you. All right, who's going to be helping us this year? I think this is one thing that, I'm not a big supporter of Howie Roseman, but I think in the offseason he's done some good things.
Yes.
I think we gave him a very good grade for his draft this year, but I like this Eric Wilson, the linebacker from Minnesota. We talked about him yesterday, Josh, but I want you to talk to me, rate him. I think his ability to cover is what the Eagles needed last year. We missed that. Remember, especially with in the Pittsburgh game, we couldn't cover anybody.
Yeah, his coverage ability is so important because he is a guy who does a great job at going through coverages, understanding, recognizing. If you go back and watch the Vikings, he was the guy when on passing downs, he typically followed the running back or the tight end in a lot of situations, or in a cover zone.
Singleton and TJ Edwards, they couldn't do it.
Well, TJ Edwards just can't cover anybody.
Right,
He can't cover you.
No.
Okay? The problem with the Eagles defense, though, is we've got to remember, we got to forget what we saw last year. We're not running the wide 9 anymore. We're not running the Schwartz defense anymore. So you're going to see stuff this year you haven't seen from an Eagles defense in probably 15 years.
Now remember, Davion Taylor, who he drafted out of, I think, Colorado.
Colorado, yes.
Undersized linebacker with a lot of speed, but didn't do anything last year.
He didn't, but the other thing is that you got to think that if he would have had a preseason, if he would have had a regular offseason, he might not have been behind the ball as much as he was.
Sean Bradley, a freaking guest here of ours in the locker room from Temple, I think we might see something at him this year.
But even him, it took him a few weeks to get involved in the system. It took him a while to actually work into the rotation. And then he became a big-time goal line guy. So I think that he is somebody who can be another one of those goal line linebackers / special teams guys. And I think at worst case scenario, Davion Taylor can be a very, very, very good special teams guy. But they drafted him with the idea that he could be what Eric Wilson is right now.
Ryan Kerrigan, another pickup that I really like.
Situational pass rusher, kind of like what Chris Long was a few years ago for the Eagles.
Talk about a leader. I think he could come in and make an immediate impact as a leader.
Oh, absolutely. And he's going to be a guy that can mentor guys like Josh Sweat and Derek Barnett and all the rookies they drafted this year on the defensive line and tell them about what it means to play in the NFL. Because it's one thing when Brandon Graham says it.
Now you got Kerrigan.
Now you have multiple guys saying it.
Right.
Kerrigan,
Fletcher Cox,
Brian Kerrigan, Javon Hargrave. You have so many guys in that locker room who can tell the young players, this is how we do business.
And finally, another acquisition that Howie did that I'm looking at as I examine the roster that I'm really liking, and I can't wait to see him play. Anthony Harris, safety from Minnesota.
I love the Anthony Harris pick might be my favorite.
You know what I like? And you know what I like about him? He's got some size, he's got speed, and he can hit, he can tackle.
He's a solid tackler, but his big forte is coverage. He's a great guy in coverage. He's a guy that you typically throw away from if you're a quarterback. You don't want to put the ball in his area because he's very good at playing zones. In Minnesota, they play a lot of that Zimmer zone situation. And, there's zones that overlap. The guys, you have these zones where you slightly overlap each other. And what teams have to do, they have to find the holes in between the overlaps. Well, the problem with a guy like Harris is he has shown the ability to close those gaps in the overlap.
So I cannot wait for camp to start. Obviously, the news coverage is going to be wall to wall. We'll be a part of that every Saturday and Sunday in the locker room. Eagles football. Now, they open up preseason on August 12th against Pittsburgh. That'll be here before you know it, Josh. So get yourself in a 3-point stand. Who's with me? Knock on wood. Come on, knock on it.
Well, the problem is I don't have any wood over here. It's on the console over here. There's wood on the console. There you go.
All right, the second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. For more information on how to become a member, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. When you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston for me. Owen down there, Kevin Kelly. They do a great job. All right. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunick. Well, you wear their private business network they call the Legacy Club. Every month they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and sees it fit for your business, send an email to Ken at jerseymanmagazine.com or give him a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we will wrap it up. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app.
This week on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio.
Another home run.
The Chicago White Sox sit high atop the AL Central, while the Milwaukee Brewers end first in the NL Central. And the two go head-to-head this weekend in Milwaukee.
Well struck left center field, way back and gone. Jose Abreu will touch them all.
The Brewers and White Sox. Coverage begins today at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
This is the play-by-play home of Sunday Night Baseball, exclusively on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Service in Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson and Sons for electrical, they're number one.
CleanRental.com, a fresh approach to uniforms, your uniform supplier. If you're a business owner, CleanRental.com asks you the following questions. 1. Are you completely satisfied with the quality of the uniform rental program you are currently receiving? 2. Are you completely satisfied with the service you are receiving from your present uniform rental company? And 3. Have you had an experience in the last 6 months where the response time to any request has been less than satisfactory? If you're a company with 50 employees or more, please give CleanRental.com a call at 1-800-825-3266. That's 1-800-825-3266. CleanRental.com, a fresh approach to uniforms. Give them a call today.
Hi, this is Jonathan Young, Camden County Commissioner, reminding everyone to get your COVID-19 vaccine shot to protect yourself and your neighbors. I got my shot to protect myself and those around me because the fight against COVID-19 is about protecting your entire community. For updated information on COVID-19's vaccination efforts, visit CamdenCounty.com. We're all in this together. Let's play our part to stay safe and healthy this summer.
On some models excludes Corvette with GM financing, excludes prior sales. See dealer for details.
By now, most people know that nobody beats a Bennett Chevrolet deal. Because when you buy a new Chevy from Bennett, you pay the same as any GM supplier employee pays. That's right, not 1 cent more. Plus, Bennett gives you all the rebates that can add up to 25% off MSRP. That's up to 25% off. And of course, Bennett Chevy has 0% financing available. Think about all the ways you save at Bennett Chevrolet. Plus, right now, we want your trade. So we're paying a minimum $7,000 for any clunker. You heard right, a minimum $7,000 towards any pre-owned in stock. Nobody pays more than Bennett. You can imagine how much more we'll pay for a good trade. And there's more. You'll never feel any sales pressure and never waste time with stressful negotiating because our non-commissioned sales staff is paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. Nobody beats Bennett Chevrolet, and we mean nobody. Find new roads at Bennett Chevy at Hubbard Township and BennettChevy.com.
All right, Josh, we're back in the studio, back on the live. Josh had a good show today. Just want a couple quick things.
Couple quick things.
The players report on Tuesday. First practice is Wednesday. I noticed on the schedule we have 2 practices with teams. The New England shared practice with New England and the Jets.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because Sirianni wanted that, or is that something the organization thinks, or is that a coaching decision?
I think every team should want inter-squad practice was, in my opinion, because you need to break up the monotony. The guys need to hit somebody else.
Okay.
At some point, you got to stop hitting your own guy. You know what I mean? At some point, like, you're supposed to be your teammates. And there's a part of you that's like, I want to like you.
Yeah,
I keep having to hit you.
But you know what? When I played, and I only made it to college, but when I played, defense was the enemy. I mean, defense got dressed in one side. They were on another field. We were on another field.
Yeah, well,
we didn't even see the defense until after, at the end of the practice, we all came together.
Things are different today.
Obviously.
And, guys also, these guys, there's a lot of guys now that cross-pollinate positions in terms of relationships. Remember years ago, you saw it down at Ocean City when it was Jason Kelsey, Vinny Curry, guys on offense and defense.
Connor Barwin were down there working out.
But it was offensive and defensive guys working out together, and that's the thing. Like, these guys, they develop these bonds as teammates. And there's a part of you that, if you're Jason Kelsey, you look at Fletcher, I'm like, man, I'm tired of going against you. I want to go against somebody else. And then when you see that other guy, there's a part of you that's like licking your lips.
Yeah, that's licking the chops. All right, couple of significant dates on the Eagles schedule. Just looking at Dallas on Monday night, the third game of the season. That'll be a big game.
Huge game, primetime television, a lot of eyeballs.
And the following week, the Kansas City Chiefs at home.
That's a loss.
Tampa Bay, October 14th at home.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be a fun game.
It's going to be a fun game.
I'll be in both of those games.
And that Tampa game is a little deeper into the year. So there's a little uncertainty, who's healthy, who's not, who's been playing well, who's not. It's going to be interesting. The Tampa Bay Bucks were very lucky last year to be very healthy.
Yes, because they had a bad start.
They had a mediocre start, but they were healthy for most of the year.
Right.
What if they start getting injured? What happens? Is Tom Brady still Tom Brady if multiple offensive linemen or receivers start dropping like flies?
Now, the second half of this schedule bodes well for the Eagles.
It does.
I mean, it's pretty weak. So you can get off to a slow start, and then the momentum can build. And then you can take what John Gruden has, let it stick in your ear, right? And then let this momentum build. Sirianni and the new staff, Brian Johnson, the quarterback coach, could have all these guys on offense, firing on all cylinders if they stay healthy. Who knows, Josh? Though the over and under is 6 wins for this team, but as we get closer, we can see what happens during practice, during the preseason. We can make a better evaluation.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm so happy football's back. And then, of course, this controversy in college football makes the juice even more for me. I mean, Texas and Oklahoma trying to get out of the Big 12. You know me, I love football. I spent my whole weekend, Friday night you got high school football, Saturday you got college, Sunday you got the NFL, Monday you got the NFL.
You're licking your chops.
I'm ready, Bill.
All right, you're going to be filling in for Mike Gill on Monday.
Yes, Mike Gill's team won again, so I will be in tomorrow for Mike Gill on the Sports Pass.
All right, stay tuned for that. All the football talk, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, he's got it all. Thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. Have a great week. Anybody would thank Charlie O'Connor for checking in from The Athletic. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you next Saturday right here in the locker room.
Take her fishing in the morning and sightseeing in the evening.
The red and white Miss Barnegat Light is a 90-foot-long high-speed catamaran. Let Captains Lenny and Lou take you to the fishing grounds with daily fluke and sea bass fishing starting at 8 a.m. Evening cruises run nightly at 5:30 and 7. Offshore tuna trips begin in October, so book